Hello there! Welcome to this episode of Force Ghost Conversations. This is your host, Anthony King, and this week I'm going to take a deep dive look at that wonderful Obi-Wan Kenobi teaser trailer. Before we get started, I'm inviting you to join the conversation with us. We can be found on Twitter at Force Ghost Pod. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok just by searching Force Ghost Conversations. We look forward to connecting with you on those platforms. Also, if you're loving Force Ghost Conversations, please be sure to subscribe, rate, and review the podcast on your listening site of choice so we can continue to grow as a podcast. And without further ado, it is time to gather around the campfire for some Force Ghost Conversations. Okay, everyone, welcome back. And as you all could have imagined, yes, this is the episode where we're going to look at that Obi-Wan Kenobi teaser trailer. And boy, is it just fantastic. I must have watched it some 10 or 1,000 times now. I've really lost count. It is just a wonderful, wonderful piece of art. And I can't wait to watch it again and again and again and just continue to get excited for this wonderful series coming out in May. Before we get into that deep dive discussion, let's look at the news that has taken place in the Star Wars galaxy this past week in the segment we call here at Force Ghost Conversations Cloud City Gossip. Obviously, first, the biggest news this week is that the first teaser trailer and highly anticipated teaser trailer for the Obi-Wan Kenobi limited series is on Disney Plus was released. We will go into more detail about the trailer in our main segment, of course, but it features many familiar faces, including Ewan McGregor as the title character. Be sure to check out this series on Disney Plus, as I'm sure you all will, starting May 25th. Also, Entertainment Weekly released some first look images from the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, as well as some exclusive interviews with the cast and crew. Now, we will be looking at this story more in depth and closely next week here on Force Ghost Conversations. So stay tuned for more and be sure to subscribe and rate and review the podcast so we can keep growing. Just as a little ping there again for that. Finally, and this is also a very big news story for this week, a limited number of tickets will go on sale for Star Wars Celebration on March 15th, so that's next Tuesday. If you haven't purchased your tickets for this amazing convention, now is your time to do so. I'm looking at myself, especially for that one, because we still don't have tickets yet either. Anywho, Force Ghost Conversations will be there in Anaheim one way or another during the entirety of the convention. And we look forward to seeing you there. Who knows what the future holds, but we plan to be active and around the convention center during that time. So we look forward to potentially getting to interact and meet some of you all there. Be sure to check out StarWarsCelebration.com for ticket prices, availability, and their updated health and safety protocols. And I am sure tickets will go fast, though, so be sure to act quickly. Trust me, this is going to be an amazing celebration, and you do not want to be left out. And on the other side of this break, we're getting to that Obi-Wan Kenobi teaser trailer. Stay with us, folks. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're back, and this has just been an amazing week to be a Star Wars fan. The Kenobi teaser trailer is amongst us. I hope that you watched it just as many times as I have at home. I just cannot geek out enough about this series. Just as a little bit of some background on how I first watched the teaser trailer. I mean, if you were like me and you were glued to Twitter as soon as like we knew that there was some type of Disney Investor Day coming out on March 9th, so a couple days ago, I had a feeling that something could be in the works when it came to Obi-Wan Kenobi. We knew that, we're getting to that time period where literally any day something could drop. If you listened to our episode last week, which fortuitously talked about the teaser poster that was released after the Book of Boba Fett ended, I speculated that at the latest early May, but somewhere in mid-April was about that sweet spot where I expected a trailer. And now we got a teaser. I should speak about things and wish into existence sooner than for a lot of different things. Where's my Thor: Love and Thunder trailer? Come on. I expect we'll get that in June. Hopefully it gets dropped tomorrow, right? I am just blown away by this. So I was glued to Twitter, of course, because once those initial images started popping up online, I saw that the Obi-Wan Kenobi Twitter account was active. It tweeted hello there. Of course. What else would it tweet with for its first tweet? I saw that those EW images that we're going to talk about next week started popping up. I saw some quotes online from the cast and crew. Something was in the works. I thought we would just get those images, that first look EW cover, some of those pictures, right? I thought that was going to be it. That was going to be the big story of the day. And then, lo and behold, that trailer dropped. And it came down like Thor's hammer and left a big crater into the world of nerddom. I saw on Twitter, I was in the bathroom actually, and I was sort of looking at my phone, and I saw that someone said that the investor day was getting spicy. I didn't even know that they were doing a live stream. I thought it was an investor shareholder call that was kind of be like an old Bob Iger con back in the day where it was over a conference call. I didn't think it was going to be like the investor day of 2020 where it was actually like a live stream presentation. And lo and behold, there was an active link to the shareholder meeting, and I clicked on it fortuitously at the exact right time that Bob Chapek, who is the chairman and CEO, I believe, of the Disney company, said that in 2022 there's going to be 2 more Star Wars series appearing on Disney Plus, the highly anticipated Andor, of course, and Obi-Wan Kenobi. And then he went on to say, we're pleased to share the first, look footage, the first footage ever to be seen for the series. And I thought it would be similar to what they did in 2020, where they just would panel, like they would say, like, we'll be back in 2 minutes for those that aren't shareholders. But no, the full trailer just appeared and I was blown away. I couldn't believe it. I was actually seeing this come to fruition. As the boy who was there opening night of Revenge of the Sith in May 2005, 10 years old, wide-eyed and ready for the world, seeing this character again on the screen, just fascinating, magnificent, all in its glory. Wonderful. Wonderful. It took me right back to that moment in the theater, seeing him drop on Utapau and say, hello there to General Grievous, General Kenobi. Golly gee, it's just fantastic. I want to just go into this trailer and just geek out all about it. And I feel like the best way to do that is just to watch it again. And I'm not gonna. I hope you all queue it up too. So I'm gonna try and um, tell you all. I have it queued up here on YouTube for myself, and I'm just gonna live react to it on here on the podcast. And if you want to pull it up, go grab your computer now, or pause the episode, go grab your computer now, grab another phone, an iPad, something like that. Pull up YouTube, pull up the Obi-Wan Kenobi teaser trailer, probably from the Star Wars YouTube page, what have you, and pull it up, and let's watch this trailer together. Now, obviously, for rights purposes and reasons, I have headphones on, so I'll be listening to it via my headphones. But you're gonna hear all my fresh live reactions to this. So I hope you enjoy, and we'll talk about it in a lot more depth and detail on the other side here. So cue it all up here. We're gonna hit play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And just wow. I like that little like twang there. Um Very reminds me of the Last Jedi teaser. The fight is done. Wow. Little bit of Battle of the Heroes playing there. Incredible. Look at that. Lars Homestead. There's Baru and Owen and Luke Skywalker. That's his purpose. Oh my gosh. The Duel of the Fates. Duel of the Fates. Oh, wow. This Grand Inquisitor speech is amazing. Wow. It's true. Jedi can't help who they are. Look at Joel Edgerton as Uncle Owen. I mean, come on. Yeah. Talk about the Jedi Code. Wow. Ooh, that Inquisitor lightsaber, the fifth brother. Ah! Mmm. Hope survives. Look at old Ben. Obi-Wan Kenobi. Oh, there's the Vader. The Vader breathing. May 25th, ladies and gentlemen, and with that really cool Disney Plus lightsaber cut for that logo. Wow. There's a lot to go through that on this in general. I mean, so much to just break down. I mean, obviously, based off of what we're presented here, Kenobi is beaten, right? He says it right there. The war is over, we've lost. He sounds defeated. He lost everything that he knew up to that point in his life. The order that gave him structure, friends, and family was gone. The person who he raised as a son, saw as a brother, probably his closest friend in the order, betrayed everything that he knew and loved. And now he has to basically be a grandfather or uncle figure to that person's child. And the only thing that he has going for him is this belief in his duty and his purpose. That's amazing. That's fascinating to me. I couldn't geek out enough about the music. How there's like, of course, Battle of the Heroes, a little bit of the Force theme, Duel of the Fates. Come on, Duel of the Fates is probably some of the best stuff John Williams has ever written. Anakin's Dark Deeds at the end too. So much of that classic Revenge of the Sith music iconography that is pivotal to the Star Wars galaxy is within this trailer. And I love it. It gives you a sense of where we're at here. This is a transition period. This is literally, I believe, 9-10 years from the events of Revenge of the Sith. So this is a transition from that Revenge of the Sith era into the New Hope era, if you're terms of like when you're flipping the switch of the calendar. Or what's more closer, right? Revenge of the Sith or A New Hope. Obi-Wan seems pretty defeated here, like I mentioned. I'm just piecing through all this again, looking at the various images. I just love that you see him just perched on the little that rock in the distance, looking at a young Luke Skywalker who looks like he's having the time of his life, just imagining that he's some type of like pod racer or some pilot on some adventure looking away. Wow. Wow. And of course you see like the overlook where he's gonna eventually be looking at those twin suns in about 10 years, looking out in the distance and wondering what is left for him out there, or what's the adventure coming, what's longing for that innate aspect of himself, the one that seeks adventure, the part in all of us frankly that seeks adventure and is looking to make a name for ourselves, be something in the world, make something for ourselves in the galaxy. Obi-Wan, I don't know if he's at peace with what he's been tasked with doing. I'm sure after a while, like, this probably drains on you, right? The fear, the worry, the constant doubting of is something going to come of this, right? You have to have hope. You have to have hope that something is. We keep poking through just to make sure I'm not missing things throughout the trailer here. I love seeing that planet, the Inquisitor planet. Of course, I don't remember off the top of my head what it is called, but if you play the game Jedi Fallen Order, the spoiler alert for the game, you go exactly to this planet, right? Uh, that's very pivotal to the story for that. So go play Jedi Fallen Order. That's kind of a prerequisite for Kenobi, right? If this is a classroom and you're like, what are what's the summer reading list so I can be prepared day one for class? I'm gonna give it to you here. It's gonna be obviously the prequel trilogy, Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith, Star Wars: The Clone Wars, the TV series, all 7 seasons. Come on, better get started now. Star Wars Rebels, because all the Inquisitors, all this lore and canon that is wonderfully developed within that series is definitely coming into play here. The original trilogy, A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi. I'm going to say Solo, a Star Wars story. Rogue One, a Star Wars story. You need to know what the dark times of this era between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope looks like. And finally, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, the video game. Go pull up your PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, so whatever it's called. I have a Series X, I think. Go play this game. Go play this game. You're gonna really enjoy it, and you're gonna see basically this Inquisitor planet. It's really cool. It's really cool. There's a lot of underwater gameplay and experience that is going to take place in this. And this, when you're on that planet, I don't necessarily think in Kenobi that it's going to take place. But just cool to see all that. Cool to see all that, definitely. I love seeing that Grand Inquisitor. Love that character in Star Wars Rebels. Again, it's very pivotal to go to be well versed in all that. And if you're not, you're gonna be like, who is this character? It's definitely a watch. If you're subscribed to our friend of the show, Dan Zer, which I hope you are, with Coffee with Kenobi, on their podcast feed, every Monday night they're going to be doing on their live show a kind of a top 5 discussion and breakdown of all the different of every Star Wars Rebels episode for all 4 seasons, and they're starting with episode 1 next week. So if you need a refresher, or it's your first time diving into Star Wars Rebels, that's a perfect time to start, hanging out on Monday nights with them over there at the CWK Cafe. What better time to do so? There's also the 5th brother in the background, another Inquisitor. You're probably like, Anthony, what are the Inquisitors? What is this? Who are these people holding red lightsabers that aren't Sith? Yeah, that's right. They're technically not Sith. They're basically like dark side agents. Read this. I might also suggest as another prerequisite the incredible 25-issue Darth Vader comic run by Charles Soule, which takes place literally right after Darth Vader is in the suit in Revenge of the Sith, right? It's that iconic image, and what takes place after that, and what's involved in that is creating this Inquisitor group. Basically, the Inquisitors are fallen Jedi that, as Order 66 was taking place, they basically just upped and joined the dark side. Now, I may be a little wrong there, because it's been a minute since I've read that comic series and been a part of like that whole ideology, but to my recollection and knowledge, that is what the Inquisitors are. They're fallen Jedi that want to be a part of the dark side now. But of course, there's the rule of 2 in the Sith, and there's a master and apprentice, and these individuals are just dark side users that are basically Jedi hunters. They're hunting down anybody that is force sensitive, former Jedi, and trying to take them out because they're a threat to the Emperor's regime. They're a threat to his power. So I love that the inclusion of the Grand Inquisitor is in this series. I love that the fifth brother is in here. I love the new character we've got. I believe her name is Reva, who's another Inquisitor. I'm fascinated to learn more about her because, of course, you get the Grand Inquisitor and the fifth brother in Star Wars Rebels. I want to see how they interact with Vader because I recall in the Charles Soule comic series that they had an interesting push pull relationship between Vader and the Inquisitors. Like this is Vader's kind of bread and butter here is overseeing this group, and their results are entirely reflect on him as a supervisor. This is fantastic. I would have never expected before. Like, of course, there are rumors and speculation, but I don't really delve into that too much on this podcast. And for my own personal sake, I knew there were rumblings of potential characters of Inquisitors in this series, and it makes sense for them to be involved. It makes sense. They're trying to hunt down Jedi. As far as Vader knows, Kenobi is still out there, and he would be enemy number one to hunt down. But I love hearing that, like from a mythological standpoint, that like the Jedi Code can be used against him, right? Dark side users don't need to necessarily be at the forefront hunting them down. They just need to be aware of the signs. Jedi are always out there trying to help people, trying to make the world a better place. When they see people in danger and in trouble, they come out, right? Same thing happens in Star Wars Rebels, and Obi-Wan literally protects Ezra. He saves him from being caught out in the Tatooine desert and kind of uh, and potentially dying out there. Him and Chopper, he saves both of them. Of course, but that's what Maul intended. He wanted to draw him out. He wanted to exploit that because he knew Obi-Wan couldn't just let someone out there to suffer, especially another Jedi. And then he uses that to his advantage. Now, of course, Maul doesn't come out on the other side of that as victorious as he wanted to. In fact, he dies. And as the end of Maul, that's kind of the same principle at point here. It's that kind of hubris of we can just wait to draw them out. Like they'll come out on their own. They'll identify themselves. Just amazing. Just amazing. Now, of course, there's a lot of interesting stuff here. I see this Inquisitor Reva on Tatooine. I assume this is probably Mos Eisley or Mos Espa. He's very close to Joel. She's very close to Joel Edgerton there. That is fascinating to me, ladies and gentlemen at home. That this is literally it showcases how close the Empire potentially got to discovering Luke. Honestly, and of course, throughout the rest of the episode, you see there's this other planet called Dio, I believe. Dio. I'm not sure the pronunciation yet, but they described, and we'll talk about this next week a bit more in the Entertainment Weekly article that it was released this week in conjunction with the trailer. It's that this planet is kind of similar to like a Hong Kong nightlife kind of feel, right? And this is probably the reason why this Inquisitor probably gets super close to discovering the truth, to discovering Luke, maybe discovering Obi-Wan, and he has to come out of the shadows in order to protect Luke. He has to reveal himself a little bit, maybe? I'm very intrigued to see how this plays out overall, but the fact that like they're nose and nose in each other's faces, Rhea and Uncle Owen, like that's very dangerously close there. I don't know if she's trying to like peer into his mind to see his emotions, how he's feeling. But wow. Also, isn't it great to see Joel Edgerton? Also, a fantastic casting in episode 2 and episode 3. Very, I don't know. I don't think it was really, too much of a forethought for George Lucas to cast this person, and probably didn't expect him to become the pivotal actor that he is today. But it worked out in our favor as fans. That's for sure. That's for sure. Again, I'm very intrigued to see how this story beat plays out in general. But there is just I really like the look of this planet. The Of course, that fascinating image of the Inquisitor's lightsaber, how it's like a blade that spins like a helicopter. Of course, in the Star Wars Rebels season 2 finale, you see I believe that's the seventh sister and the fifth brother, definitely the fifth brother, uses it as like a helicopter. And I hope we get to see people use it as a helicopter in the series. I would love to see an Inquisitor use it like that. That'd be pretty cool. Not gonna lie, I would love to see that portrayed. But honestly, I think the action so far is stellar. Just from even this little teaser, Vader is going to be a part of it all. Vader is secretly pulling the strings behind the scenes. Boy, does Ewan look great. Does he look great? I love the long hair look, just the grizzledness of it all. I'm fascinated to see where Kenobi is as a character at this point in his trajectory and his arc. Wow. This is a lot. This is a lot. Just even a minute and 46 seconds. I'm very, very thrilled with what I've been presented so far. But I really wanted to say that like the big thing that has stood out to me at this point is the the last kind of like title card sort of at the end where it says hope survives. And to me that's really the thesis of this story. That's the reason for this series to exist. It's to show that hope can survive, even though this is the dark times. This is the full reign of the Empire. This is, in fact, some of the what some might call the height of the Empire. Right, the rebellion is in shambles. There's no unified rebellion. It's just small cells across the galaxy. And amongst all that, amongst all the hate, amongst all the anguish and fear and loathing, there is some hope out there. And it is in the survival of Obi-Wan Kenobi and in his mission to watch over a young Luke Skywalker, the new hope for the galaxy. Luke survives and Obi-Wan survives, and with that, hope too survives. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. I'd be remiss if I did not give all the kudos in the world to Deborah Chow, who is behind all 6 episodes. Another note, 6-episode limited series on Disney Plus. I know there's been rumblings today about hoping that there's a season 2. I would love that, but we'll see what happens. At this point, we have to assume that they said limited series. We have to assume that it's 6 and done, right? We have to assume that. Deborah Chow this doesn't seem like a like a limited series, a TV series. This looks like a movie to me. This trailer seems like the Last Jedi teaser trailer to me. I feel like I should be walking into an IMAX cinema, a Regal RPX, a 4DX, a ScreenX theater, something, and to watch this. Nothing in this trailer whatsoever screamed to me that this is a TV or a streaming show. And that's to its benefit. Star Wars is always meant for the big screen. And I even argue that the animated stuff also should be seen on the big screen too. It was made with that intended purpose. Watch that Rebels season 3 finale and tell me otherwise. All those explosions, the cinematography, the action sequences, the story beats and character of it all. It is fresh and in that. Come on now. It's just absolutely brilliant. Brilliant work, brilliant effort behind the scenes. I I cannot wait for this show. Give me all of it. With this, we are officially headlong into the Kenobi hype period, right? If the end of the Book of Boba Fett and the beginning of the release of the teaser poster plus the series date was like the a little bit of a start there. This was like the launch of the roller coaster going 70 miles per hour now, headlong into the distance, right? Are we going to get another trailer? Perhaps, probably. We're going to probably keep getting more stills and images about the series and about everything that entails Obi-Wan Kenobi. Definitely going to get more interviews with cast and crew. And like I mentioned last week, something very fascinating about this series is that Star Wars Celebration in Anaheim, like we discussed in the preamble in Cloud City Gossip, starts the Thursday, May 26th, the day after the first episode airs. So in that panel, theoretically, if they're going to have a Kenobi panel, which I assume they will, it would make absolute sense to do so. If they're going to have a Kenobi panel, then that means they can talk a little bit of spoilers. They might even show the second episode, or however many episodes. They might show a few episodes. As a person who is intrigued about the culture of like conventions and just the study of it all, like this is some fresh fertile ground, frankly. They're able to not be so tied up in the usual questions of, well, where's your character at in this? Well, I really can't explain too much. Well, I can't spoil this. I hope I'm not breaking an NDA, right? The stuff that they always say, these things. They're going to be a little bit more unhinged and raring to go, which is awesome. I cannot wait for this series. I hope you're just as excited as I am at home. Let me know what you think. Connect with us on our social media platforms: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. Would love to hear from you all. What are you most excited about for the Obi-Wan Kenobi series? What do you think about Ewan McGregor returning in the titular character role? What do you think of all the Inquisitors? What do you think of Uncle Owen? We didn't even get Aunt Beru in the trailer, but she's coming. She's coming down the pipeline. And Vader is also down that pipeline too. Hayden Christensen is back in the role, and wow, we're in for a wonderful treat. This is going to be an amazing, epic series, and I hope you're just excited for it as I am. Now, like I mentioned, follow us on all the social media channels. Make sure to give us a rate, review, subscribe to our podcast on your favorite listening site of choice: Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, just to name a few. We're available just about on any podcast platform that you can think of. And be sure to connect with us. Again, let's continue the conversation. The campfire that is the Force Ghost Conversations crew is continuing to grow. And with that, everybody, I hope you have a great week. May the Force be with you, and we'll be back next week to talk more Obi-Wan Kenobi.